You can all stand if you're able, rise, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll do a quick roll call. We have 3 counselors present. Mallory had to go out of town unexpectedly, and I'm expecting Mr. Minahan, but we have an executive session for a interview for a potential ZBA member, so if someone would like to make that motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to go into executive session per 1 MRSA 405.6A.
Second.
Excellent. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Fantastic. We could all adjourn. Why don't you follow us into the cafeteria area? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Microphone, the one direction of the other, and turn it on and please. We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. Any discussion? We'll vote. Jeff? Aye. Jessica?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye. Vote passes 4-0. We are out of executive session. And we can now start the regular council meeting. Thank you for everybody for waiting. We appreciate it. All right, moving on to approval of the town council minutes from 11/14/23. Do I have a motion?
One minute.
Excellent.
There was just a quick typo on, included a queue for the guest speaker. Is it? Top of page 3, Mrs. Costello, the Veterans Day celebration was phenomenal. Over 70 people in attendance. The quest should be guest, please.
Ah. Nice catch. Okay, would you like to make a motion with that amendment?
Motion to approve the minutes, as amended with quest being, updated to guest. For, the town council minutes of November 14th, 2023.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Then being heard, we'll vote. Jeff? Aye. Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to the signing of the treasury warrant. Dated 11/21/23. I'll make that motion that we sign the treasury warrant dated 11/21/23 in the amount of $140,327.37.
Second.
Any discussion? Beautiful. Jeff? Yes.
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye. Motion passes 4-0. We have no reports and presentations. However, I would entertain a motion to move. If you were here for new business number 2, correct? Correct. I would entertain a motion to move new business number 2 up. Get Chief Ruger back to his duties.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and second. We'll move number 2 up, chapter 130, vehicle and traffic ordinance review. Tim, would you like to give us a quick overview of why we're here?
First off, Mr. Vice Chair, that Council Minahan had requested this earlier several months ago to put this parking ordinance for review back on the agenda as an update. We have been working on it. We've had several meetings, myself and staff along with Chief Ruger. And in the end, we decided, though we had a bunch of changes that stopped with that, the reason we have all these issues is in as many years as you can remember, there's no fines for parking violations. So having no fines, it makes no sense when you write an ordinance, which is, as you know, a law for us. You always have to put in, you know, the definitions, define exactly what it wants, it's supposed to do. You have to put in a penalty clause and you have to put in an appeal clause. So I don't know why they wrote ordinances here years ago, with a penalty clause and appeal clause, but those two things are missing. So you've got to have a process where, at least in this case, when we started to investigate why parking isn't really enforced, other than telling people not to park there or something like that. Chief said, well, we've never had parking tickets, so the chief submitted a proposal to the council, which you'd have to amend the ordinance. And I'll have the chief speak on that briefly. And so you have several options. You could kick this back and wait, or you could approve this as a first reading of the document of what you want to do. And then set a schedule for public hearing. The problem is we're getting into our winter parking months now. And if we drag this out through late January into February, by the time and then the ordinance takes 30 days to get into effect unless we declare it an emergency. It'll be March 1st and we still won't have had the authority to fix our problems through the winter. So at that point, I would recommend that the council move quickly on whatever version you settle or want to do, put something to apply to this, because right now it doesn't mean anything. So Chief Ruger, can you go up and the microphone and fill that on? There you go.
Mr. Vice Chair, probably beginning of this year, I could usually talk loud enough.
Well, they turned it down to them, but. Okay, try that. Yep, try that.
No, it's not. So about
Now.
there we go. Mr. Vice Chair, so about the beginning of this,
Okay, go ahead. Somebody.
I want to second that.
Yeah, we got a vote to that, is there?
Let's try that. That works.
There we go.
Okay.
Beginning of this year, we were looking over the parking ordinance when it came to our knowledge that there was no fines for parking. So for the last 26 years I've been here, it's been that way until I found this, and then there's nothing for us to bring to the courts if somebody decides they want to fight this. What we are planning, what we are hoping we could do is when people don't pay the fines, unfortunately, it was always just, well, they didn't pay it, oh, well, I don't want that. If they don't pay their fines, there should be a penalty for that. The penalty is, they don't pay it within 10 days, they get bumped up a little bit more money. And after 30 days, then we'll contact the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and suspend their rights to drive in the state of Maine until they pay that fine. These are fines that they are, out here on Main Street, especially during the winter, when people are parked on there, that gets in the way, and Jay has to call us, our highway director has to call us constantly to have cars ticketed and/or removed. Well, if they don't pay their fines, then, how does that help the town? So that was why I brought up this whole incident that we're going through now. So with that being said, I've called around to the several towns around us, and most of the towns around us have picked I don't know if you want me to go over the fines that I came up with today, but most of them around us are around $50 for a parking ticket, and I don't care what the value is, as long as there's something on the books that we can bring to the courts and to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and prove that we have an ordinance for that.
That's awful hard to enforce the law.
Correct.
That explains a lot of.
Microphone,
Sorry. That explains a lot of, in the past 9 years, when we had citizens come in with parking complaints on Paul Street and other parking, why nothing was ever done, because there's nothing really that can be done.
Correct.
Does this lead us into issues if we have them towed without having?
No, because that's actually part of we spoke about it back in January. That is part of the ordinance. We have the actual fine for handicap parking, which the officers have been getting those out. But there's no fine for winter parking, down off of Vine Street when they're out there swimming. We used to ticket them in the past hoping they would pay. But now I want there to be a definitive answer to saying that, yes, you have to pay now
That's it. We got to give you the tools you need
to do our job.
Yes.
Yeah.
We owe you that much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for the chief. So if they're having a ball tournament at Hudley Field, and we put up signs that say emergency, no parking this side of the street, And they park there like they do every year anyway. But right now, we don't go up there and we get all those complaints and then the cruiser makes it pass through. But the guys don't stop to picket all those cars because there's no enforcement. to do that.
No, we don't. We actually try to get compliance and we'll go to whoever's on the microphone and announce that this area is closed. You're not supposed to be parking there. And eventually people usually do move their vehicles. But we've been going for compliance, which is time consuming. And with one officer being on a shift, typically, it takes away that much time away from going to a more serious call.
Thank you.
So in this microphone, got it. I'm used to just talking loud. In the ordinance we have provided to us, I didn't see anything in there with fines. Did I miss it or we just?
No, I got it here.
Okay.
That's fine. I realize now I had a lot of.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Then we'll catch up in that way. With the mice here on it. Oh. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna defer to you on this one for a little bit, Tim, because I've never been down this road of adding something to the ordinance like this in an expedient fashion, because again, it's December, we might as well call it, so we're gonna roll into this, and we should roll into this sooner than later.
Yeah, Madam Clerk, want to elaborate on emergency ordinances?
You still have to go through the process of posting for 7 days. You must have the language that is going to be proposed to the public to me prior to that posting. And as long as you put an emergency preamble, you can adopt it immediately. And you don't have to wait 30 days.
So do they still have to have a public hearing?
Yes, they do.
So,
So we could technically set a public hearing for our next council meeting. As long
Not
as
without the language in my hands,
prior to,
the posting of that public hearing, which would be Monday.
with that,
that'll roll us to the second meeting.
If you're not having.
well, we could have a second meeting, that's, it'll be that, or we do it the first meeting in January.
Okay.
You still have to have the language, whatever language should I say?
I just was noticing that, traffic control signals, 130-3. Traffic control signals will be regulated as follows, and then it's blank. Now that we'll have an operable traffic light is now the time to.
That's my next one coming.
So here's the thing, that whole ordinance needs to be
We got,
redrafted, okay? I would not open anything else up but this. That's my suggestion, the council is certainly to do at will as you please. But my recommendation, once we get going forward with the newer streetlights for Main and Portland and 236, yes, I think that my plan would be then to, with the council workshop and staff workshop, redraft the whole parking ordinance then. That would be my, what I'd recommend.
That's great. I just know that, 91-236 is coming online. Does this give authority to allow him to ticket, so on and so forth, or
That's,
enforcement through that? I also want to update that we have a stop sign, no left turns at Central School. That's been up there for a while. That's not in the ordinance as well. I
That's
just,
not in there.
I'd like this to.
Traffic lights, we can
I'd like-
roll the state law.
Yeah, okay. I'd love to see us move this through expediently for the parking fines and then certainly move forward with the rest of the ordinance sooner rather than later.
make a motion for me to draft the language and. Or you can adopt, I guess, this language, from talking in all of the, you can adopt what he wrote. Fine schedule,
That would be the easiest way with it, just to adopt what's in front of us right here in the fine schedule.
But you're still altering the ordinance, which requires a public hearing.
Correct.
yeah, so then go through the same process,
So you can't
but you can use this language, you can vote tonight to implement this language.
Yes.
You can, I'll just put it in format to give it to the clerk, and, you know, then, but that can be, that winter parking and all improper parking charges not included handicap parking. That can be the handicap highway road and full, and this, I think, takes care of it. I would just add that to under the ordinance, under section. And then I think what we decided to do is put it under,
Yeah.
yeah, just put it, we were gonna just put it at the end. Hopefully, 130.
130-12.
Mr. Vice Mayor, the motion that we add, 130-28 as a fine schedule to read winter parking ban and other improper parking charges not to include handicap parking. $50 refusal to pay within 10 days, increases to 75. Letter sent after 10 day and follow-up letter after 30 days, then notify Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Handicap parking violations per ordinance, $200 after refusal of 10 days, $300. Letter sent after 10 day and follow-up letter after 30 days, then notify Bureau of Motor Vehicles.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. Jeff? Aye. Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 4-0. Add this to the ordinance for vehicles and traffic, chapter 130.
I'm gonna ask, Mr. Vice Chair.
Yeah.
Permission to communicate to the clerk.
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, can they now take this language and post a public hearing on the 12th of this? Or do they gotta wait for the next meeting to post it?
Nope.
So I would ask the council then to put a motion for the public hearing on the 12th.
I move that we have a public hearing scheduled for December 12th to add the approved language to chapter 130 vehicles and traffic.
Second.
Start at 06, or excuse me, 6 P.M.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comment? So we vote. Jeff? Aye. Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you for your.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully this helps you a little bit.
Absolutely, thank you. Oh, it's took 27 years.
Some things are worth the wait. All right, moving back to today's regularly scheduled meeting. There are no more reports and presentations, correct?
No, sir.
All right, we'll move on to public comment. Is there anybody in the room that would like to comment on something that is not on tonight's agenda? Seeing nobody? Is there anybody online? Nope. Excellent. All right. Moving forward, we have unfinished business. Up top is the RFP for Town Hall Architectural and Engineering Services.
All I need you is to make a motion to what you want me to do with it. So approve town manager to release the RFPQ on November 29th. Or do something different. Whatever you'd like to do.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve for the town manager to release the RFPQ on November 29th. for the town hall architectural and engineering services.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second, do we have any further discussion? Tim, thank you for all the hard work, and thank you to Mark and Ken and everybody that put into that, that was a very well written.
Thank you. It's a great team effort.
I'm looking forward to see what we get out of it.
I think we're all excited about it. I think it gives us good direction.
We have a motion and a second on the floor, we'll put it to a vote, Jeff? Aye. Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye, motion passes 4-0. Moving on to new business. New business number 1, the Christmas parade. 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to allow road closure needed for the Christmas parade on Main Street on December 2nd.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on closing Main Street down for the Christmas parade on Saturday, December 2nd? No further discussion, we'll go to a vote. Jeff? Aye. Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Vote aye also. Motion passes 4-0. We're having a Christmas parade. Fantastic. We took care of number 2. We will now go down to number 3, the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee. There is a document in front of us that our economic advisor is looking to have a chair and vice chair of that committee. Comprised, looks like, of our 2 council members. Do I have any nominations for appointment from anybody?
Jim, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
if I may speak on that. So that came out of basically my office after the first meeting. There's kind of and those 2 are there. A little bit of a lack of direction going forward. So, you know, we only have this one time to do this project right, spend the $30,000 on this. Jeff Preble will be the technical expert on it. He's done all these all over the state. That's why we hired him. Denise would be the liaison. But I want to make sure that that committee is required to follow the same rules that the council does, the same procedures, the same, by motion and vote. It's not a free-for-all, and it's not a, people shouldn't be there. And I don't know that anybody is, but I want to make sure no one's there for their personal agenda. We're there for the downtown revitalization program. We're only gonna get one shot, one time to get this right. So it needs direction and needs understanding. So my recommendation after talking to Jeff Preble and Denise is my recommendation is that the 2 councils serve as chair and vice chair of that committee and form an agenda and keep the committee moving for the best interest of 8,000 citizens that we're trying to get this right for. And make sure that we don't get off sidetrack and lose 6 months of time that we don't have. It was my request that I thought, after giving us a lot of thought, a large committee, 2 most trained people are 2 councils we have in this. So I'd like to have them serve as leaders on that to help make sure that committee stays directed and gets, there's a lot to do and a short time to do it in, just like the comp plan committee. And it's vitally important that we get this right that time. And there's no room for error. And so my thought is the 2 councils serve as chair and vice chair. People may not like it, but my goal is for the municipal elected officials, council to have a great product to move forward with the downtown revitalization plan in the future. That's what I'd like to recommend. I'm recommending that those 2 serve that position.
Excellent. Thank you for the information, sir. We go back to who wants to make a nomination, ladies?
Mr. Vice Chair, I would like to make a
Oh.
sorry.
Sorry. Just before we end it, though, just I appreciate the forethought in it. My concern about it is that, the committee is put together to inform the council. And so with two counselors running the committee, is it doing the role of what the committee is meant to do? Furthermore, I feel like in the rules, our rules that it gives the chair of the council the ability to call for to put together a committee, but it doesn't give the town council the authority to appoint the chair and vice chair of those committees. So, I'm concerned that we're moving, in doing this, we're doing something that wouldn't be correct. And that's where I'm wondering how, I could feel better about that. I guess I'll also add, to my knowledge, no other committee that has been appointed, or requested, has this happened where the council puts people in to manage themselves, as far as chairs, it's done by the committee level.
We've used SMPDC as the lead in committees and used them as the head. We've used Denise. Personal side of this, I understand where Tim is coming from we have citizens and business owners that have great buy-in, but I'm not sure they have the procedural knowledge that the council has in the structure of the meetings and what we need and what we're looking for. I don't think they're gonna sway it anyway, because that's not what they're there for. They're there to gather information, but they're there to steer it, to make sure it's going in the direction so we get a product we like. When we had the parking committee, or pedestrian safety committee, Abby was the chair of that one. She was the spokesperson and she was the chair. If I go back to, there was another one that Jack was part of and Jeannie was part of, and they were also the leads on that because they were counselors. And they were there with the committee. Again, they're not steering the committee, but they're there to make sure it stays the direction we want to go and gets the information we need. That's my view of it. And I feel we do have the right, since we appointed the committee, we have the right to appoint who we want reported back to us. That's just my 2 cents.
And just to clarify, not arguing or anything,
No,
just to
okay.
clarify, my concern is the committee doing it, not so, but I'm cool with them being chair and vice chair. I was just my interpretation of the committee doing it. So,
No,
because I do agree that the knowledge is there.
so you're looking at having the chair, the committee vote for chair and vice chair. Is what you were looking at.
So Mr. Vice Chair, that's normally how it's done, and you can do the same thing, so if you wanna do that, then appoint just one of the council as chair, and let the committee elect the vice chair. Or I'll go, on December 4th, is that your next meeting? And explain that these are the rules, this is how it's gonna be governed, and we can see how they do it and elect the chair. I'm just trying to, we're already a month into this, and the hourglass has been tipped. And we're running through time, and then summer comes and, it's gonna be busy and there's a lot to do, and it just, it's whatever. I'm just trying to make sure we get the biggest bang for the buck. And I believe, to answer your question, Jeff, that, John's right, that when I've done this in another town, council that appoints committees also has the right to appoint who chairs it if they want to. I don't know that there's anything in writing in our code, I haven't seen it. But I know in other towns, councils appoint committees and appoint chairs for those committees. So I have seen it done in other, but we can do it. It was just a suggestion from my perspective, because I want to get as much done as possible. There were several people on the committee that asked what Jeff's credentials were. Not your credentials, Jeff Preble. And that begins to worry me when they're beginning to ask, what are his credentials? Why is he a technical advisor? Because we hired him. So in the end, ultimately, no matter what the committee chooses or does, town council will have to approve the downtown revitalization. It's, you know, that's the end of it. It's gonna come to you, they can pick that all the sidewalks will be blueberry colored. Has to come in front of you and get approved. So nothing's, you know, and I don't think it, you know, my perspective wasn't to deter the operation of the committee, was to just keep it procedural. To keep the process going so that we have an agenda. You realize that this is so it's an authorized committee by the council, so they can be lawyers. They have to have an agenda, the agenda has to be posted, it just can't be hodgepodge. So that's all, you know, I'm saying, somebody's got to monitor that. And I don't want it to be a town employee, I don't think it's fair to put that on Denise. You know, I just don't, I think Denise is there as the economic developer and the liaison for my staff. So I was thinking them, but if the council wishes, we can go talk, we'll present it at the committee and let the committee decide. Whatever you guys want.
So how about, I'm gonna put both of you on the spot. What's your feeling with how the committee would roll?
Mike's,
I need a second to think.
Take all the time in the world.
I think one of my biggest concerns is, I think we all know all too well that when we form boards and committees that are volunteers, that people tend to fall off. So what happens if we nominate a chair and a vice chair that decide 2 weeks into it that they don't want to do it anymore? Now you have me and Jess that are council selectmen, that it would be in our best interest to fully participate in a board that we have asked to be on. So I think that by having Jess and myself as the chair and the vice chair, it would be in our best interest just for reliability and responsibility purposes.
It gives you continuity also, as we discussed. Because there wasn't a lot of citizen involvement early on, it was mostly businesses from what we saw. That would give you continuity also of the chair and the vice chair have been there from the beginning, you know where you started, so you're not circling back and going over what you've already done. Great point, thank you.
Also, Mr. Vice Chair, if we have to conduct meetings that are really productive in a relatively short time, and we've, you know, hired them, there's just the scope of work to complete with them. If we start dragging things out, that may potentially require additional scope of work, additional money, so I would just prefer to have someone who's in that chair position, who's really invested in getting a quality product done on schedule with, you know, transparent, good practices, so on and so forth, to protect the town.
I'm good with going forward if someone wants to make a motion to appoint a chair, and then we can put it out to a vote, but I'm comfortable going forward with the input from both of you. I understand Jeff's view, and his concerns. But I'm good if one of you wants to motion to step up, I have no issue at all. Or I can make it, but I'd rather one of you make it because you know who's gonna do what.
Mr. Vice Chair, I would like to make a motion to nominate Councilor Seer as the chair of the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee.
I will second it. Any further discussion?
No, I appreciate the,
Okay. All right, with no further discussion, we have a motion and a second on the floor. We'll go to vote. Jeff?
no,
Jessica?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 3-1. Moving on, Vice Chair. I would like to make a motion that we make Melissa Costello the Vice Chair for the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee.
Second?
Any further discussion? None being heard, we'll go to a vote. Jeff?
no,
Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 3-0. Congratulations, and again, thank you for stepping up. And yes, you have a vested interest, so I know you'll be at every meeting.
Mr. Chair, did you mean three?
3-1, sorry, 3-1. I apologize. Marshwood back. All right, moving on. We need to schedule a public hearing for LD 2003. Even though it has changed, right? It's not LD 2003.
Yeah, called, it should be an ordinance update for
Zoning,
zoning 140, dash 9.
I move that we schedule a public hearing for a zoning ordinance update for 140-9 to be scheduled on 12/12/2023, as long as the clerk has all the proper language.
yes, there's more sections than just section 9.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you need to put that in? Because the last one we just did for the.
Yeah, we're gonna do it 6 P.M.
I'll be the one that's in.
We'll just do them back, we'll just do them back to back.
You must have a time certain.
06:30. The other one's at 06, right? So 6:30, 6 o'clock. Sorry, 6 P.M.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further comment? Hearing none. We'll vote. Jeff? Aye. Jess?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Puts us at 4-0. Motion passes. Tim? Town managers report.
The highway crews are working on patching potholes, spraying the millings that were dropped to the Red Barn site to be able to use the shoulder material to save money. That project, the grader lost its head gasket again, so now they're looking for a used engine to replace it. Cleaning the square, getting ready for home for the holidays. Police department had 3 arrests, 4 accidents, 55 traffic stops. New computer-aided dispatch system is coming through the dispatch center. South Berwick PD will, use what Sanford has. It'll be compatible with the fire department system, will be a significant cost. Every town in New York County will have to pay anyway. Fire departments had 9 calls, and year to date, they've had 428. The chief has been interviewing applicants for open call firefighter positions, and have forwarded 3 of them to HR for the next step in the hiring process. We currently have 3 probationary firefighters, ranging from 1 to 6 months of experience. So adding these 3 will give us 6 new trainees, heading into 2024. All apparatus are in service with the exception of the tank truck, which is you authorized to be repaired. It's going well. It's expected to be completed by Friday, December 8th. Code enforcement had 0 building permits, 21 inspections, and working on E911 addressing that has a new system. And the office is currently fixing, replacing, updating addresses in town. Planning, Sanville Estates, final plan is in front of the planning board at 12/6. 2 new applications in front of the board, a midwife clinic and a repair shop for 2 new businesses.
At the library, letters to Santa and ornament making will take place this Saturday on December 2nd. The October Reading Challenge winners have received their prizes. They were gift certificates from local businesses. And one of the inverters for the solar panel was recently replaced. It was under warranty. It is now back up and running. Recreation, this Saturday, also on December 2nd, is Breakfast with Santa. They have over 150 adults and kids that are registered for 2 different times. I thought that was great. It's almost double what she had last year. Finalizing details and all the winter programming. Those programs are going to start rolling out later this week. Seniors had a Thanksgiving meal cooked for both the Elliott and South Fork residents, and they had about 90 people in attendance for that. The seniors have a giving tree set up at the community center lobby. The giving tree is for residents of the Berwick Estates, and the stars are disappearing very quickly. The seniors are heading to Davenport for a winter wonderland show on Thursday, November 30th. In assessing, the 3-year reevaluation process with KRT will start within a week or two. They will be starting in the downtown area zones B1 and R1A. We have received 6 applications so far for the assessing technician / admin assistant. And Rhonda and I will be doing some of those interviews starting this week. For the town clerk, we've received 6 applications for the open customer service position. Barbara and I started conducting interviews today, and we have 3 more tomorrow. The town clerk's position will be posted this Thursday in preparation for Barbara's retirement in January. At the transfer station, we just bought a refurbished cardboard baler to replace the current one, which we had bought about 20 to 25 years ago. That one was refurbished as well, so it has served us for quite a long time. So we thought it would be worth saving the money on a new refurbished one going forward. Economic development, the Downtown Revitalization Plan Committee is meeting Monday, December 4th. The public engagement session will be in January. Comprehensive plan, beginning to work on the state compliance requirements, their next step. Business development and communications update on economic development of businesses in South Berwick for the last 18 months. 8 businesses have opened their doors in town. 1 business is currently under construction in Pumpkin Town. And 1 business is currently renovating on Main Street, and the location will be opening soon. Finance, HR, safety, benefits. I have had 2 business meetings and 20 staff meetings in the last 2 weeks. Foreclosures are due on December 7th. We only have 5 left, so that's great. So we hope to have those all paid up. Looking to finalize the audit this week to be able to present to town council on December 12th. Unfortunately, this may be a little bit delayed. I just found out yesterday morning the auditor had COVID. So he is falling a little bit behind. So it'll depend on how much he gets done in the next couple days. I will be going on vacation next week, so that will postpone that if we don't get it finalized this week. As I mentioned, I'm conducting interviews with both Barbara for her position, open position, and with Berna for the assessing open position. So that's 9 total interviews I'll be doing this week. And we also wanted to invite the town council to our holiday party that we're having here on Monday, December 18th. We are doing a door decorating contest, which will be voted on that day. And I know that the council has seen interest in decorating their own door, so.
They've been given a door.
Yeah, we've been given a door. So we've started our holiday decorations in the town hall this week, so we're looking forward to that. To the contest.
Well, we expect to see you guys in here on Saturday decorating the council door. Just saying.
I read the rules.
You tell them,
Nothing religious, nothing political.
Excellent.
yeah. Did you tell them the price difference between the?
Oh, yes, just for the transfer station, the used baler was 10,000. If we would have bought a new one, it would have been about almost 18,000.
Good savings. That lasted us 20+ years.
And that's, yeah, we figured that savings definitely. took it.
I had 4 business meetings and 30 staff meetings working, we've met with the police department. Started contract negotiations on their union contract, which is up to June 30th. I've been in communication with Department of Transportation. They're working on the RFP to go out in the spring for the streetlights. The streetlights on 236, I've been told will be going live on Friday, but that's not been confirmed through me. So I'm not guaranteeing that that's the right answer. Had a meeting with the president of Marshwood Youth Baseball and a contractor, Fernandez and Sons Landscaping. And they're planning to refurbish the ball field to the tune of $50,000. But it's still our property, so a capital improvement project going forward. We just have to have the liability waivers and stuff signed on it. So, I have formally accepted the town clerk's retirement notice after 27 years. Barbara decided to retire. Her last day will be on Friday, January 26th. She's been an exemplary employee. And we will certainly miss her knowledge and her expertise. And then whoever comes in behind her will have to do the same climbing the ladder that she did for years to learn all the ins and outs of the rules and the ordinances, but certainly the town of South Berwick and the administrative staff, myself, and council prior and to you and prior, certainly owe Barbara a debt of gratitude and a thank you. So that is that. We'll be making sure we have arrangements for some kind of a party and, you know, a party and gift and so forth, but it all comes to us at some point, and, I just want Barbara to know that I certainly have appreciated her assistance and help in the last 2 years as manager, and that I wish her very well in her next endeavors in life and retirement. I'm sure all the town citizens and the town council will do the same. So I'd like to have a motion to have the council accept the retirement. If I may, please. Well, there you have it.
They'll be happy to make that motion and vote come budget time.
Yeah. You really want,
Huh?
you really want.
I do.
I move,
It needs to go in the official record.
I move, unfortunately, that we accept Barbara Bennett's retirement in January 26th.
Very good.
For January 31st. Sorry for rushing.
I don't know how many days there are.
Second.
Somebody's got a second. I have a motion and a second for this on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to vote. Jeff? Aye. Melissa?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
I vote no. Motion passes 3-1.
I met with Mary Husby in reference to the large pine tree in the front of town hall. We've reached an agreement. This will be the last year. We're gonna retire that tree. It's split at the top. And it needs to come down at some point before it falls down. So, I met with Mary and both her, I think it's Zelda, her mother.
Yeah.
We've come to an agreement on what we're gonna do. So we're gonna retire this tree next spring. We're gonna cut that down, remove that, get the root system out. And then we're gonna work jointly with Mary and her mother, put in a new tree and repurpose that and rejuvenate the whole thing. And next, December, when we do Home for the Holidays, do another ceremony in remembrance of the dad. And rededicate the tree and do a rededication for the Husby family. They're very much in support of that, and we're gonna work together to do that. So we'll be doing that. This is the last year of that tree. It was never approved, it got too big. And it just needs time to do something different. So we're gonna get a smaller tree that'll be, planted in the ground. By a nursery, and that'll be all done and rededicated and give Mary a chance to have her grandkids see something like that for next year and make a nice family memory, and I think it'll be a nice memory for the town. So,
Thank you for that.
met with Sarah Stanley from Senator King's office. She's a new representative in York County. Had a meeting with the water district in reference to operations of CIP account and budget increases for next year. And several conversations with the lawyers. Been my 2 weeks.
Thank you.
All I have, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you for that. Thank you for everything you guys have done. You've been busy. Way too many meetings. But such is the life of what you do. We'll move into council member comments. Jeff, what do you have tonight?
Just congratulations to Barbara and wish you well on further endeavors. Thank you for everything you've done for the town.
Jess?
Likewise. There's also a busy weekend ahead. There is a South Berwick Reporter kickoff party at Spring Hill Friday night. There is Home for the Holidays in the South Berwick Rollinsford Christmas Parade on Saturday. And also the Mary Tremis Marshwood Educational Foundation event at Spring Hill on Saturday evening. Also wanted to just chat about, the comprehensive plan committee meeting last night.
Microphone.
Oh, sorry, and there was at the comprehensive plan committee, there was a, discussion about, procedurally wanting to put, into just tidying up when other, like a conservation commission needing to be involved at kind of the get-go when things are put in front of the planning board, and just ensuring that there are any other governing bodies and any other applications that they're provided notice for meetings, so on and so forth. So that came up in last night's meeting, and we are also hoping to have a meeting with or joining with the planning board to talk about our land use chapter, so that we're all in alignment as the comprehensive plan moves towards coming up to us.
Excellent, thank you. Melissa?
I also want to say, thank you to Barbara for your many years of service, with our town. You've been a joy as a part of our clerk staff, and, I also wish you well. You will be missed. And Jennifer mentioned that, Mallory and I went to the department managers meeting on Monday, and, we did request a door, for the holiday. Won't tell you which counselor did, but, and, so, in moving forward with that, just to clarify, if all 5 of us get together to decorate our door, it's not a quorum, and there will be no council business discussed, as we hang our jingles and bells on our door. So, thank you.
Excellent. Jessica touched on the kickoff party at Spring Hill for the South Berwick Reporter on, Friday night at 7:30. I was asked to speak at that. I had talked to Zelda at the veteran ceremony, and I think what the reporter is doing for the town is incredible. The information they're getting out is stopping a lot of the rest of the rumors that are on, social media that we have to fight back on my favorite bulletin. It's gonna be great for the community. They are also looking to use this as a fundraiser. So if anybody knows anybody with some money willing to spare for a great project, it would be awesome for them to go and help it out. It's a great local thing, and again, I think it's gonna be a huge thing for the community. Thursday, January 25th, Barbara, you'll be at work, correct?
Hang on.
So if anybody wants to join me in coming in for your dog licenses, they're still due on Thursday, January 25th. I'll be bringing mine in. We can keep Barbara busy all day. I am gonna miss you, Barbara. It's been, I don't know how many, probably as many years you've been here, I visited. It's, the town is gonna miss you greatly in your knowledge you have, and I wanna thank you personally for keeping me straight, sitting up here for 10 years. And especially in my beginning years as a counselor, and kicking me under the table to keep me straight on what I was doing. I sincerely appreciate that. Okay. With that being said, I have nothing else. Does someone want to make the motion I always make?
Mr. Vice Chair, motion to adjourn. Second.
And a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, Jeff? Yes.
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
I vote aye also, 4-0. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a safe night. Avoid the deer on the way home. Because Melissa and I didn't get it. Barbara, I almost got we.
Pass this around, where they.